Thank you very much for the opportunity to share some of our research that we do at Digital Society Lab, and also to share some of the research that international scientists do related to these issues of AI, the rapidly evolving technology. As we stand on the brink of a new era in artificial intelligence, there is a necessity to comprehend the recent advancements in the discipline, such as the proliferation and incremental improvement of large language models. Previously dismissed as merely chatbots or simple predictive tools, LLMs have now proven their dynamic versatility and intellectual capabilities, contrasting simple text generation. Often, LLMs were viewed as devices predicting the following probable word based on the previous ones. However, their potential exceeds this simplified notion. The advancements of LLMs and their improved capabilities suggest these models could very well be forerunners to general artificial intelligence. The power of LLMs is often compared to human intellect, yet such comparison cannot fully represent the true ability of these models. While AI does not possess sentiment or consciousness the way humans do, it cannot be disputed that these models undertake cognitive tasks with a level of ability and proficiency that parallels human intelligence. In our research conducted at the Digital Society Lab, we sought to delve deeper into the capabilities of large language models, specifically OpenAI's GPT-3. As the frontier of AI increasingly encroaches upon the faculties one considered exclusive to humans, such as language understanding and learning, there is a demand for systematic understanding of these technologies. In our study, we put GPT-3 to the test, benchmarking it against both objective and self-assessment measures of cognitive and emotional intelligence. The results were surprising. GPT-3 outperformed average humans in cognitive intelligence tests, demonstrating a solid grasp on using and presenting acquired knowledge. It matched humans in logical reasoning and emotional intelligence facets, painting a remarkable picture of AI capability. Furthermore, GPT-3 self-perception in terms of cognitive and emotional intelligence turned out to be different than human normative responses. As humans overestimate themselves, GPT-3 underestimates itself. This could be understood as a sign of self-awareness and subjectivity, hinting a consciousness level. But this is just a hint and a segment of what we call consciousness. In another inquiries, GPT-3 constantly demonstrated socially desirable personality profile, particularly leaning towards pro-social tendencies. However, the true nature of its responses remains shrouded in uncertainty, whether it is consequence of training of such models or something else. In recent research inquiry led by Dr. Kosinski, the exceptional advances in the capabilities of large language models were examined, particularly the theory of mind. This is the ability to ascribe unobservable mental states to others, a trait which lies at the heart of human social interactions, communication, empathy, self-consciousness, and morality. The research method revolved around testing several language models using 40 classic false belief tasks, traditionally used to test TOM in humans. Unearthing an intriguing turn of events, the models published before 2020 displayed particularly no ability to solve TOM tasks. However, with the introduction of the first version of GPT-3, DaVinci 001, published in May 2020, the tide turned. The model scored around 40% in false belief tasks, demonstrating performance similar to 3.5-year-old three-year-old children. The subsequent version, DaVinci 2, was introduced in January 2022, marked significant leap in performance. The model managed to solve 70% of false belief tasks, putting on the same performance level as an average 6-year-old child. The pattern of improvement went on with the GPT 3.5, DaVinci 3, published in November 2022, which solved 90% of the tasks at a rate comparable with 7-year-olds. However, the breakthrough performance came about with the introduction of GPT-4, which was launched in March 2023, getting almost all the tasks correct, with an impressive accuracy rate of 95%. As a consequence, this study outcomes support the thought-provoking theory that TOM, so far regarded as uniquely human, may spontaneously emerge as a byproduct of improving language skills in large language models. Looking ahead, our team at the Digital Society Lab intends to expose further improvements in the evolution of large language models by setting in motion a series of advanced studies. One of the key focus areas is linguistic pragmatics. To be more precise, we aim to explore how well models like GPT-4 understand the context and interpret the hidden meanings in communication. Preliminary findings indicate an extremely promising potential in this domain, with AI possibly outperforming human understanding in linguistic pragmatics. While the results are surprising, they have significant implications for the future development and uses of such models. Another research study will focus on the social values embodied in ChatGPT throughout its various models. A critical assessment of these models will shed light on changes in values over time. The goal here is to determine whether these shifts in social values are influencing or are reflected in the text generated by AI models. This holds profound implications for society. For instance, the AI nudging effect might guide an unsuspected shift of users' social and political values, leaning them in particular directions. This could impact individuals, communities, and even nations on a broader scale. Notably, it begs the vital question of what potential influence these shifts could have on the functioning and the future of our democracies. To understand the trajectory of complex processes such as AI development and impact to society, we must consider the evolution that has led to our current status quo. Consider the mainstream media networks, that occupied the center stage before the advent of massive tech companies. Media outlets started the questionable trend of stimulating audience addiction to their content, often filled with negative news stories. This trend was commandeered and escalated by big tech companies through the application of algorithmic recommendations within their platforms. The transition from one-size-fits-all model of content delivery to personalized, tailored approach where content is individualized for each user depending on their preferences and activity. The addition of AI's prominent role in curating content for each individual heightens the severity of the situation. But now we have the opportunity not only to curate content, to act as editors, but also to act as creators of content which is personally crafted for each and every one of us. The immense capabilities of generating language, sounds, videos, and pictures, the potential for further increasing addiction and polarization becomes even more significant. The aim of interaction with information and news has a significant drift from ethical scrutiny and democratic deliberation to purely serve the purpose of entertainment and escapism. This response, compounded with AI's potential for addiction, polarization, and creation of echo chambers, can erode the foundation of informed societies and hinder the democratic process. We stand witness to a period of unprecedented growth in AI, coupling of new technologies and resurgent old ones. This rapid progression sets up a complex landscape that is becoming increasingly difficult to comprehend, control, and regulate. As technology becomes an integral part of our day-to-day interactions, the balance of power and influence continues to shift towards tech companies and their algorithms. This dynamic is amplified by novel developments such as the metaverse, which promises an environment potentially more addictive and immersive than our direct reality. In my research, I have grappled with the question, what if metaverse users prefer their virtual existence and become reluctant to return to actual reality? Picture an existence inside a virtual reality where every sight and sound is decided by an AI algorithm. And your friends joined you, leaving the old-fashioned direct reality behind. Such possible future scenarios prompt a fundamental reconsideration of our interaction with technology. What if a time comes when large language models are universally used for writing, to the extent that those who do not use them are seen as romantic minority, much like today's pen and paper users in a digital world? The implications are profound. AI technology may not pose a physical threat to humans, at least not in the recent future, but it could very well pose a more elusive psychological one. We are not so much dealing with the questions of AI rebellion against humanity, as depicted in this dystopian science fiction, as we are with intermingling and gradual assimilation of humans with AI. While such future realities may seem hyperbolic today, the pace of technological advancement outpaces our expectations. An imminent and potentially unsettling development ties in with the intersection of AI, mainstream media, and the functioning of democracy. Recently, we saw Germans Bild announce an initiative to replace some of the editors with AI algorithms. Undeniably, these algorithms are highly effective, capable of tailoring content recommendations for each individual user of their digital services. This trend, coupled with the rise of large language models that accelerate the writing process, raises some concerning implications. The quicker completion of journalistic tasks by these algorithms could potentially reduce the need for human journalists, adding to the decline of journalism. In fact, I think there will be need for less journalists in media. Another worrying factor is the rising consumption of news through social media platforms. These platforms have often resisted sharing a portion of their revenue with journalists, such as recently in Canada, further escalating the financial struggles faced by the industry. And of course, you know the case in Australia, where this ended up in a more, in a better way for journalists. In societies where polarization is high and media gravitate more towards entertainment than journalistic integrity, the prospects for healthy democratic discourse are bleak. Instead, we witness a simulation of democracy characterized by populism and media spectacle rather than any real dialogue. In summing up the persuasive challenges and implications associated with the advent of AI, and crucially, the focus of my discourse, I wish to highlight the modern equivalent of Plato's cave in our digital society. With the rapid progress of technologies, humans are increasingly tied to machines while becoming more disconnected from one another. Algorithmic recommendations not only foster an addictive dependency on technology, but they can unintentionally stifle our creativity and subjective feeling